Welcome to Grand Rock Warehouse and to another Warehouse interview. Tonight, I want to welcome Marc Valentine to the show. He is a wicked cool recording artist. He's got a brand new video, a latest single. The single is called UAP. It's got a new record coming out, Uncommon Side Effects, out on April 10th on Wicked Cool Records. We're going to talk to Marc. It is power pop greatness, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to it.
Piling on the power chords and pure pandemonium, Grant's Rock Warehouse.
Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse and to another Warehouse interview. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this gentleman. We've got Marc Valentine here. Marc is, I'm going to use this because your bio that was sent to me said you are a power pop auteur.
Well, I'll take that.
How does it feel to be a power pop auteur?
I'm writing it down now, Grant. This is fantastic. Yeah, keep it going. Yeah,
I'll keep it going.
No, I mean it's a huge compliment, to be honest. So
yeah, well, I like me some power pop, Marc. And when I heard the new single, or I guess the video's out now for UAP, I heard it and went, "Holy mackerel! This is right up my alley." The whole goal with my channel, and just in case you don't know, is we like to play a lot of obscure stuff. I'm not saying you're obscure, but we like to turn people on to maybe stuff that they haven't heard. We're not one of those channels that we're just going to go out there and talk Led Zeppelin all day.
That's good.
Or Judas Priest. Just saying.
Yeah, that's good.
And I really love power pop, and I think the new track, I think UAP 100% power pop in my book.
Okay.
I put that song in the dictionary. Look up power pop. We could put that song in there.
I like it, man. I like you already, Grant. We've only just met. So
all right, good. So anyway, Marc, when I talk about these things, when these shows and these interviews, I want to go back in time a bit just to get people familiar. And what I'm always fascinated with is when you were when did you start really getting into music? When you were 13, like me? I don't know. That's when it really hit. There was, the skies parted, Marc. You know, you could walk on water. What was it that turned you onto music when you were around 13? I'm always fascinated what that moment was.
That's really interesting. So I think it was actually probably earlier than that for me, to be honest. Early 70s. I used to, we just had a TV and there was a lot of music on TV. There was a show called Top of the Pops, which when you're a kid, it immediately caught your attention. And from a young age, my dad was a musician as well. So I think probably that would have been an influence on me because he was always playing guitar around the house and stuff. And from a very young age there, my sort of early memories really. So I think it all began then really, about 1972 probably, which is way before born then.
Yeah, because mine was like 75. But was there a band? What was the band?
I think the first band I can remember was The Sweet. They're on TV. It was probably Blockbuster, which I think was on about 72. And because they had like an outlandish image. So as a kid, you're getting the visuals and you're getting the tune. It was obviously big, one of the power pop hits of the early 70s, sort of that time glam started. So, I think The Sweet and T-Rex, they're just things that really stood out then.
So what at that moment, and then how long was it before? Because I obviously I know you play guitar. So was that your instrument of choice when you started out?
No. When I started, I was just hitting biscuit tins, trying to play the drums. My dad was playing guitar, and I'd be getting the biscuit tins out and try and play drums and do some sort of screeching vocals, I guess. Probably I didn't pick up guitar. I was in bands as a vocalist.
Oh, okay.
My first band, we were at high school. I think about 13 when I started my first band, and we were actually a synth band. It was me and my best friend. We started this synth band. It was about 81, maybe 1981.
That would be the time to do it.
Yeah, that was the time, and again, it was that was what was happening. That was the zeitgeist at the time, and. I was just doing vocals at the time, and the drum machine we had, drum machine, and probably a little bit of strange percussion that my dad had lying around the house, castanets and all kinds of stuff like that.
What was that band's name? Did you guys ever play out at all?
Yeah, we did. We were called New Obsession, and our first gig was at the Village Hall and we had tickets. I think the tickets were 10p in advance,
Okay.
so we made everything ourselves. So that's about 15 cents maybe. And, yeah, we got the ticket, and with the ticket you got a free drink as well, which my mum served at the hatch in the village hall. So yeah, it's pretty good deal then.
So it all worked out.
Yeah, it all worked out. Except we had that very first gig we did. We had this huge Farfisa organ, which we had to get from my friend's house to the village hall, and this thing was massive. It took four people to lift it, and we had 2 wheelbarrows, and we had to push it about a mile with the wheelbarrows to the venue, and set up there. And I remember that gig there was curtains in this venue, and we bought these pyrotechnics, which you could do in the 80s. You could go to magic shops and buy like smoke bombs, and you could buy like flash bombs, all stuff that you can't get now here in the UK. So we lined all this stuff up on the front of the stage, and our roadie, my friend's brother, he was a big metal fan, so he bought loads of these pyrotechnics and set it all off as we came on stage. And I was standing too close, my trousers caught mine, and that was on the curtains closed again, doused out the fire, and and came back on 10 minutes later. So that was my first memory of our first gig.
That Farfisa, though, there's nothing nothing else sounds like a Farfisa. It's kind of like the Vox Continental organ. It's got its own sound. The Farfisa's got its sound.
Oh,
so
brilliant. Yeah,
but if you were like a synth band, did you have a synthesizer, or were you just playing that Farfisa?
Okay. No, we had that. Yeah, we did have that, and we had I think our first synth, we had a Moog Prodigy, which I believe was a mono. We were a 3-piece at the time. So yeah, we had this one synth, the kind of organ, the drum machine, and vocals. Pretty good sound, actually.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I dig it. If you're playing synth pop,
I'll try and dig out the demos for you.
It's all right. That's good.
Yeah.
So then you move. What came after that? What was the next step?
I think after that we discovered goth music came in. So we were about 15 probably by then, and we kind of grown up with obviously punk, the new romantic, new wave thing, the synth pop, and then sort of goth came in the UK, sort of the post-punk stuff. We got into that, and then that's when we actually branched out to a guitar, this particular band, and we changed our name, funny enough, to the Hellfire Club, which at the time was a good name, but now it's really bizarre. But so that was the next carnation, and we had a guitar. We were a 4-piece then, and we still had the synth. Get live drums sort of halfway through that band, and our first sort of big gig, if you like, was in it's a city called Norwich. We were still at school, and we played with the Fall. I don't know if you remember the Fall.
The Fall,
we got an spot with them. Yeah,
Mark. Every time I think of the Fall, I think of the track "I Am Curious Orange." You familiar with that track?
Oh, I haven't heard that for a long time. Yeah, brilliant.
What is that, like 80s? That's late 80s, I think.
Yeah, that might be it.
I don't know. Love the Fall.
Yeah. Oh, incredible band. And at the time, we didn't really know, obviously, sort of legacy they would leave. We were just kids, and we were just over the moon that we had this support slot, and it was sold out. It's about 500 people there, and like I said, we had guitar then, so we had a bit distorted guitar. It was Les Paul, and it was pretty. Again, it was quite a good sound. It was our first show. It was maybe our second gig, and it was packed, and we didn't really know what to do. We had arranged our set. We played 30-minute set, and there's our mums and dads were there, and we're getting all these cans thrown on the stage, bottles, beer, piss being chucked over us, and we're like, what the hell was going on? And mum and dad's were freaking out, and actually said, no, that's good. That's a sign of a good gig. So that was
shit at you. That's good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. So slipping all over the stage. It was brilliant. I mean, I'll never forget that gig, to be honest. As you don't, when you're starting out, any kind of little thing that happens is massive in your own world, of course. So it was brilliant.
So how long before that did Last Great Dreamers come around?
That took a while. That's a few years later. I think I moved to London. I was 17, 18. I left college, and I decided, I need to get to London, really. My band had kind of band up here. We'd become a band called Guns for Hire. And so we did a few things, a few shows, quite a few demos. Didn't quite do anything with it apart from local gigs. I think we had one show in London, but we were kids living over 100 miles from London. It was those days. It was really hard to, with there was a local scenes in each city, but Norwich wasn't really a big town for music, and so my band kind of sort of fell apart, and I moved to London, and it took me about a year or 2 years to get a band together there. That's where I started a band called Silver Hearts, which became Last Great Dreamers.
Okay.
That's about 1989, I think we started, and as a 4-piece, and we did a lot of shows. At that time, the music scene in London was pretty good, and we got a lot of shows at the Marquee, and it was the time of Dogs D'Amour, Choir Boys, that everything had kind of taken off. There was a really, really healthy British music scene.
So there was kind of like a buzz in the air. You could feel it.
You could feel it. I mean, everybody in the pub, in the club, everybody was in a band. It was a lot of competition, but a lot. Yeah, it was a great time. We were really lucky. Again, you don't realize at the time when you're in the moment, how special it is, really. And because you had the Marquee, you had the Astoria, Borderline, all these venues are in the West End. It was really it was an amazing place to be at the time.
Wow, amazing. So
we did. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. So we did lots of shows at Silver Hearts. Again, at the time, you're in your 20s, and you feel like at the time the clock was ticking. That was just how things were in England. The music press, the media is like, okay, you got a year to make it, 2 years. If you're mid-20s, time is running out.
Yeah.
And what happened? We changed our name to Last Great Dreamers. We decided it was the time when grunge took off, and that whole thing, and the sort of rock and roll, the sort of sleaze, the sort of glam thing is kind of, as you probably remember, kind of died pretty much as soon as grunge hit. That was pretty much
Well,
it.
yeah, all the whole hair metal. I'm going to use the word hair metal because people know what it is, even though the metal community don't appreciate it. But I was at the balloons are going off. See, that's what happens when you start talking about grunge. I was at a club. I was with my girlfriend. It was a gay club. I don't know why we were at a gay club, but whatever. We were there, and they were playing some metal stuff. And then all of a sudden, "Smells Like Teen Spirit" by Nirvana came on, and I'll never forget the moment. I had never heard it before. It must have been brand new and shiny, kids.
Yeah,
I heard it and I went, "Oh well, this is different. This is different." And I just knew, and the whole room, it was packed. Yeah. You just could feel it in the room.
Yeah, no,
I knew something was going on. And just between us, Mark, I was fine with them killing all that hair metal stuff, just between us.
Yeah, well, we were okay with it as well. We weren't a hair metal band, but we the whole scene, rock and roll, kind of touched onto that.
Well, that whole scene at that time kind of got really silly. Poison. I don't know how it was in the UK, but in the States you had Poison and Warrant, and it just got really. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. And
I agree
with you,
I'm still waiting for that new Nirvana to come by and sweep us off our feet, but I haven't seen it lately. I'm not sure that'll ever happen again.
I don't know if it can happen now, just because of, the way that communication is now and the way that we have access to everything all of the time. I don't know if you can quite make that splash.
I know we're on a tangent, but you have to admit, it's easy to get your stuff out there, but there was something, I don't want to use the word romantic, but there was some when we were back in the day, you only had like I'm going to use UK magazines. What you had, New Musical Express or Melody Maker. That was your only real way to find out what was coming out. And if an album was coming out that it was an artist or a band that you enjoyed, you would read about it. You would talk to your friends about it. It was an event.
Yeah,
I miss that.
Yeah, I do too, because it was an event. You discuss it. You'd say, "Got to hear this record." You couldn't hear the record until it came out or until you owned it.
Right.
That was the way to do it, and it was fantastic.
It was fantastic.
yeah, the discovery there was a magic to that for sure.
And plus, you had the industry, and if you got signed to something, at least you had some backing. There's no real industry anymore. It's just go for it, and hopefully it sticks. But whatever.
Yeah, it's really changed. Yeah.
The other thing is, Mark, we go on a lot of tangents on this channel.
That's fine, man. I'm happy with tangents, that's all good.
But anyway, at least you got to grow up like in that era that I did, that it was just like an event, and music was like you put it up on a pedestal. The band
there was nothing higher.
Yeah, nothing higher. And I missed that.
Yeah, there was nothing higher, and you never knew what was coming next, of course, as well. That was kind of thing, I think, with music and with, all the subcultures we had then and all the, the different scenes. It was incredible. Leading on from what I was saying about when the grunge thing
Nirvana, the grunge thing.
Nirvana, yeah. I exactly remember hearing Teen Spirit the first time. We were at a gig and it came on at this, rock club we were playing. And again, everybody's like, what?
Yep.
It's one of those iconic songs, and it, even now, of course, it's extremely powerful. And I do remember it. And you just thought, hang on, music's changing. This is big, man. And,
it's one of those moments.
It's one of those moments, yeah. We all can probably remember what we were doing at that time.
Well, I'll give you a quick moment before I have to tell you this.
Yeah.
In the early 80s, I had one of those moments. There's been several times in my life where I've had those moments. It was it 81 or 82? I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but we're going to go down that road. I heard Duran Duran, Hungry Like a Wolf.
Yeah. And
considering what was out at the time, and I never heard it before, I'm going, wow, that's new, shiny, new, and fresh.
Yeah.
And I mean, Rio's a fabulous record.
It's incredible record.
Incredible record. But I had not, here in the States, Duran Duran really didn't do very much.
Yeah.
Until Rio hit and the videos came out. But that was another moment for me that I heard and I went,
yeah,
oh,
I agree with you, actually. Yeah. Mine probably, again, Duran, I was a big Duran Duran fan. Again, when I was at school, this was, I think, 1980 when their first album came out. And again, it probably hit the States a bit later, but I think it was their second single, Planet Earth. If you've ever heard that song. When that came on the radio, that again made, I think I was probably 12 or 13, and that really did motivate me for music, because it was kind of a crossover between, it come out the new wave, the punk, but also had the synths as well.
Yeah, that whole new romantic thing. But it was something about it, though, Mark. It was very fresh. It
was very fresh.
Yeah.
And the first album, I love hearing Duran. The second album was a great album, and I think they're underrated. They're great musicians, and they got a lot of stick because they were a pin-up band. Or became a pin-up band.
See, that's the thing. That we are on a tangent, Jiminy Christmas, but I could see through that. I knew that they were much more than that. And some people just wrote them off like they were just, Tiger Beat Band or whatever. But I could see, I said, no, kids, these guys are good players. These guys can write, phenomenal.
Yeah. But they had everything, because they looked great. For me, they looked great as well. They were, had a good stage presence. They had the songs. The production was there, of course. And they could play. They were a brilliant band. And so, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Well, we're just two guys talking. So let me ask you this. The whole power pop thing for you, because you are an auteur of power pop. How did that come about? I mean, was there a certain influence in that area that has shaped what we're gonna talk about the new stuff now?
Yeah, okay.
Was there something in your life that really, was it sweet? Because, I mean, there are probably power pop. I'd say there's power pop elements in sweet to some degree. But is there anything that really caused you to go down that road, or is it just something that happened naturally?
I think it's probably something that happened naturally, and the influences over the years for me, because, like I say, I grew up on the glam. That was really my first thing. Rock and roll from my dad. You know, he was a big Buddy Holly fan. And,
okay.
Again, Buddy Holly, when you think he was so ahead of his time with a lot of the production and the sound that he had at the time. So I think I grew up with, they were the very first influences. And then I got into new wave punk. And the punk that I was into was, you know, the Buzzcocks. They were the band for me. One of my favorite bands. And the only,
I mean, they're still, you know, you could call them new wave, but there's still that power pop element within that band.
Very, very, very popular. yeah. And of course, Blondie, the Cars I liked.
The Cars.
So the early bands, and I always loved the production of those records.
Roy Thomas Baker. Those first two Cars albums, in my book, you could send me on a desert island with those two records, and I would just be good to go.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Great stuff.
That's a testament to a record, that you take it with you, and you can listen to it again and again, and like I say, it always stays fresh. But I think as a musician, for me personally, that's kind of always a record I'm trying to achieve, trying to make. So yeah, I think right through, there were the bands that kind of stood out. So I've always been the pop guy, even though I was in a rock band, Last Great Dreamers. Talking about them when we became Last Great Dreamers during the grunge scene. That's when we got signed. We got signed, funny enough, to a metal label as part of Music for Nations, and the guy who signed us was Bleeding Hearts Records. The A&R guy was Abaddon from Venom, and he actually signed us.
Venom. All right,
Venom. Abaddon from Venom signed my band Last Great Dreamers. Yeah.
Nice.
So he would never put two things together, and he said, you guys are going to be the new fucking Bay City Rollers. And of course we weren't, but he totally got what we were doing. And so even from then, I think there was a pop element to us, even though we were quite, a rock band, and that's always sort of been in my songwriting, and right through to where we are now. Those influences haven't really changed over the years, and I think you don't need to be ashamed of that. If you like pop songs, and if you're still writing that kind of thing, I think there's possibly a stigma to calling something pop, and I like to call it off-kilter pop more, but I think it's still rock and roll.
It's still rock and roll.
It's rock and roll. It's got the energy. It's got the excitement. But there's a tune there or a hook that really lifts you, I think.
Well, since you like off-kilter pop rock and roll, I'm sorry, I got to go a tangent. We mentioned the Cars, but you're probably a big fan of the Cars Panorama album, I bet, because that's kind of like the first two, but then it just kind of goes off the edge. It's a little bit more experimental. It's not really all that commercial when you listen to it,
No, you're probably right. I want to hear that again. I haven't heard that for a long time.
Time to pull it back out. It's another great one.
Obviously, you've got XTC behind you. You're talking about another sort of off-kilter pop band there.
There's not one bad XTC album. No, there's no bad XTC. If you're listening to the Dukes of Stratosphere, any of it, there's no bad XTC. They're on another level.
Yeah, I think so. The musicianship, I think, because when they were so young, they started as well, you realize that, sort of you never get anywhere near what sort of things.
Yeah, when they got Dave Gregory on drums and wires, that's when I think XTC really took off. I think Dave Gregory was the secret sauce. For one, phenomenal guitar player, an arranger. You look at Skylarking, he arranged most of that stuff. I think Todd did some arrangements, but like all the orchestration and stuff, I think Dave Gregory's the one who put all that stuff together. Oh, phenomenal.
Okay. I didn't know. That's incredible. Yeah.
Damn it.
When you're talking about orchestration, stuff like that,
Very talented.
Without a doubt.
That's I don't want to keep you forever, Mark. I mean, we could talk music all day.
I can stay as long as you want, Ron.
All right. Let's jump into, the new single, NYUAP.
Yes.
What was, so you had these 2024 shows in the U.S.
Yes.
You had the UAP sightings in New Jersey. Was that the inspiration for this track? What was the inspiration?
That was it. The title came there. We were on the East Coast doing our first shows in the States, and it was an incredible time. It's the first time I'd taken a band out there. I used to live in the States, but I never sort of toured or done any shows out there. So to get my band out there at the time when Basement Sparks came out was amazing. And it coincided with the New Jersey lights, and obviously it was big news at the time, and we're sort of, driving along in the van, up the freeway, we're looking out the window. Can we see them? Are we going to see them? And I think it was a very exciting time. And I was thinking, oh, mate, we're on tour. Maybe these guys are on an interdimensional tour somewhere. Who knows? And yeah, I had the title, and just as soon as I got back home, I sort of, came up with the Farfisa keyboard riff, and the song was there. Really,
That's exactly what it is, because I'm listening to it and I'm going, it's that damn Farfisa on there, isn't it?
it's come back to
Kind
warn
of,
you.
who was one of those other bands that used Farfisa a lot? Was Elvis Costello? Like early
Costello,
Elvis
yeah.
Costello? Yeah, there was Farfisa on that stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think
It's so
probably the Volney
predominant.
as well. Yeah.
You're like the Farfisa artist. Look at how long you've been dragging that damn Farfisa with you clear to 2026.
Hold on, here it is. Yeah,
There it is over there in the corner. Damn thing follows me around.
Yeah.
So, how long did that song come together? Did it come together fairly quick? Because some of the great songs come together really quickly. You know,
they do, and it's only 3-4 chords, so which most of my songs are. So, yeah,
right.
I did. I kind of had the vibe of what I was trying to do, and just I was messing around, and yeah, as soon as that melody came out, I thought, oh, this is going to stick now, yeah, and it did happen pretty quickly, actually. Some songs don't. Some songs you pick up, you put them down again, you go back to them, they get worse, or you go back to them, they disappear, or sometimes they just happen. And I was lucky with that one. It really did. And we played it when I played it to the label. I said, yeah, that's the opener, and yeah, it's all
right, cool.
Really,
Mark,
really
let's do this. Let's do this. This is a good time to break for just a minute. Let's play the new single. People are going to want to hear it. Then we'll talk about where you can get it, blah, 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 the new record that's coming out. So we'll break. Everybody, we're going to break. We're going to play the track, and we're going to circle back around. All right, we'll be right back. The new single from Marc Valentine, New York UAP. Look at that. I'm telling you, every time I play it, I just absolutely love it. We do want to hear from people down below. What do you think of the new track? Fantastic. Power pop. He's a power pop auteur, people. That's when I heard it. I had to get you on. Anyway, so the single is out now, correct?
Correct. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
NYUAP is out right now. You can get it. Well, it's only a streaming single. It's not available on
Okay.
set.
Where can people find it?
So basically, you'll find it on all the streaming platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer, all those kind of places. And if you want to, if you can wait for the album, it will be on the album, which comes out on the 10th of April.
Okay.
On Wicked Cool Records, and it will be available hopefully at your local record store if you're in the States, hopefully at Rough Trade, Amoeba. You'll be able to buy it online, of course. And that will be on vinyl, CD, and streaming download.
Good. At least you didn't give up on CDs. Thank you.
I'll tell you, they've had a renaissance, CDs. As you can see, we're in a little record store here.
You are, yes.
Yeah, and
I see Sid Barrett. I see Velvet Underground. I see Bowie, Ramones, MC5.
We're in good company. Right?
Well, you're in good company.
Yeah, this is my little record store. I'm up on the coast in a little town called Cromer. And we have a little kind of mom and pop shop here.
Nice. That's a good place to do an interview.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But I couldn't do it at home, so I've got so many kids and they make too much noise. So, and it looked, funnily enough, strangely enough.
Yes.
My first 2 albums on vinyl.
So the first 2, those are still available, correct? Are those on Wicked Cool as well?
No, Future Obscure, this is the first record. This is on Arcane Wires, which is a little indie label that we have in the UK. And it's it's pretty good. It's on colored vinyl too. You can get it on CD, but you probably have to go to my website, or you'll probably find it on Amazon, places like that, I guess. HMV might have it, I'm not sure.
So let me ask you this. How does it feel to be, you've got 2 solo efforts out. Uncommon Side Effects, when did you say that's supposed to come out? April?
That's out on the 10th of April, yeah.
And 10th of April, so everybody keep looking for that. How is it to make that transition? I'm just curious, because you were in bands your whole life.
Yeah, my whole life.
To make that transition from a band to a solo artist, was that an easy transition? Or is it pure natural? What? How'd you make that transition?
Well, I think it was just the circumstances at the time, the events. It was COVID. Without COVID, we would have stayed as a band. You know, because with my band, Last Great Dreamers, the previous band, we're dotted all over the UK. So we used to have to meet in the middle of England to have a rehearsal. We were like 200 miles apart from each other. As soon as COVID hit, you couldn't, here in the UK, you couldn't leave your house to do anything. As you know, all the bands everything came to a standstill for live music. And, we were, sorry, let's face some sparks, I haven't seen it. And
I like the album cover. I like the artwork. The artwork on all these look fantastic.
Yeah, I've been pretty lucky. That's something, I've done some of it and my friend has done a lot of it. So as a solo artist, going from a band to a solo artist, so at the time of COVID, we couldn't do anything, and we still wanted to play, of course. So I had some songs I was bashing around, and I thought, do a bit of recording maybe. So I wrote quite a few songs at that time. I knew my band couldn't do anything, so it's kind of, I thought, well, I'll do a solo record. Now seems the time to do it. We've got a hiatus, and who knows how long this is going to be. And a load of, we stuck at home, and a load of songs came out. And I thought, I need to make this as my own record. And the guitarist Slider in my band, the Dreamers, he kind of had some ideas. He wanted to do his own things. So we said, well, let's just do our own thing for a while and see what happens. And recorded that album. It took a while because I had some illness as well at the time. So there was some bad timing as well, even though it was kind of fortuitous in some ways that I got to do the record. But there were some other things that kind of got in the way. And I lost my mum as well. And so we couldn't get the record out as quickly as I wanted. So, but it worked out. Probably everything has a funny way of working out, as you know, Grant. So it all happens for a reason, I think. So the record came out a bit later than I wanted, but I got some airplay on Little Steven's underground garage in the States. And
didn't you get the coolest song in the world?
I did, yeah. Yes, which was amazing. At the time, I was like, this is...
I could totally see. I get it.
And I was like, wow, I didn't expect to get the reception that I would get from that record. And, because obviously I'm pretty much, like I say, unknown. And that radio station picked up. It was incredible. And then they got in touch with me, and they really liked that album. It got a bit of airplay, and they said, if you do another record, can we hear it first? And that's what happened. And I had already started recording Basement Sparks, and got the tracks over to Wicked Cool, and Little Steven really loved it, and the A&R guys loved it, and that's we went from there really. And they wanted to put the record out, and here we are today now.
Well, your sound is exactly, it fits perfectly there, I think. But let's see, what was I going to say? Oh, I had a brain crisis. You were saying Wicked Cool, blah blah blah. Oh, where was I going to go?
Sorry, man, it was me waffling.
No, that's all right. We're just yapping.
If I didn't, I'd forget what I was going to say as well.
I know. What was I going to say? Okay. Album comes out on the 10th. I've looked at your tour dates. No, I guess we can talk. It'll come back to me. It'll come,
I'm sure it will.
Tour dates. You've got a gig, a sold out London gig, I see. That's good.
That's cool, man. Yeah.
Swedish dates coming up.
Yes.
A lot of touring dates. Are you ready to go? You excited? You ready to tour? Ready to get back out there?
Yeah, man. Yeah, of course. Always excited to do live shows and playing new songs. My band are getting together this weekend. We've had a month off, and we're like, okay, we've got to get these new songs. We need to play live, because you got a new record out. You want to play a lot of the stuff. It's not like we're a band with tons of hits that the fans are expecting to hear the same hits all the time. I'm lucky that even though I've been around a long time, I feel like I'm a new artist in a way, which is pretty mad when I think about how old I am. But that's I think
you just can't think about it, and Mark, you just can't think about it and just keep going.
No, you don't
keep doing your thing.
I don't. Yeah, you do, and the music is amazing. How medicinal it is, and what it does for you. And I'm lucky that I can. I think the point I was trying to make is that I can put a new record out, and people will listen to it. I'm not just expecting to hear the first record. And I'm really lucky that I'm trying to make new fans all the time. Hopefully, people listening to your show, watching your show, this will be the first time they've heard of me, and hopefully they'll check out the back catalogue, and they'll also like the new stuff.
This is right up. Everyone's going to dig it, and that's why I wanted to have you on, for one, because people are going to appreciate it. You're right. It's going to be great. I'm here. I've got your back. I've got your back. I know what I was going to ask. Little Steven's Underground Garage.
Yes.
I'm going on the Little Steven's Underground Garage tour in April.
Right.
It's too bad. On the cruise with all those bands.
I looked. I'm like, hang on. Where are we? Yeah, we're not on there. We're not. So I'd love to have been on it. And
I was thinking you would be. Well, you never know. You never know.
You never know. I did. We tried, but maybe the next one will be on. I hope
that would be awesome.
I would have loved to have been on, because Red Cross, one of my favorite band in the world. So
Red Cross. What was the? Oh crap! What a lot of that '80s stuff. I'm trying to think. The album that came out in '89. Oh my God, fabulous record. Red Cross. Yes. Fantastic record. Fantastic. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah,
I'm excited.
They were a brilliant band. They had the first. They started really young as well, of course, as you know. But I think Phase Shifter came out around the grunge time, but it kind of melded the grunge and the power pop together. They were a really great album, and I think what was the other band I think kind of did that? Grant. I can see the album cover. It'll come to me. Brain crisis. Okay, I need to ask you about this. So you've got your touring schedule. Now, you toured the East Coast of the U.S. in 2024. Do you have any, how does performing in the U.S. compare to Europe or the U.K.? And I was just curious if you had any stories from the U.S. tour that you could share with the class. Perhaps nothing that we could share on TV show. No, the US is amazing and very similar to Europe, actually. England is its own kettle of fish. It's so different, England, to the rest of my experience of the rest of the world. I think we're a little bit more cynical here. And I think because we've always been sort of chasing trends or leading trends. And we're a little bit different with the music here. On the grassroots level, it's really tough, as it is everywhere, of course. But
Yeah.
I think the US, you guys still listen to radio a lot more than we do here, for one thing. Well, not everybody. Still high. I mean, obviously, it has dropped off.
Mark, that's not saying very much.
No, it isn't. No, I'm not saying. I don't. You may not take it as a compliment, but I think it's interesting that a lot of the old sort of ways still perhaps are going perhaps in a different way to here. It's a bigger population, of course. So I think when we came to the States, we really noticed that people sort of did a little bit of research when they come see a band. They seem to know a bit about you, and obviously, we were being from England. Obviously, there's a novelty value, of course. So you're going to expect that you're going to get obviously some interest anyway. But I do like the passion. People know a lot about music. You guys know a lot about music, and I think you probably stay loyal to music in a different way, perhaps. And Europe is very much the same, I think. I think it's treated as as an art form. I think it probably has, it is perhaps a different perception than it does in England. I think because I don't know. Just because we obviously think differently about sort of the way we regard sort of culture and sort of movements of things. But we very warm crowds in the States as in Europe as well. And I've been really lucky to do that. It was just a dream come true to get out to the States. We were supposed to come out again in June, but the World Cup has probably changed that now. So I'm hoping maybe in the fall I can get out there again.
Awesome.
The record's out. Get out to the fall.
That'd be great.
Ohio would be all right, but I don't know if we'll get out there.
You could play Cleveland, or you could play Columbus. You could play Cincinnati.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of places to play in Ohio, but a lot of acts anymore, they kind of skip. I'm central Ohio, so I'm close to Columbus. I'm like 20 minutes north of Columbus, Ohio. But what happens is that a lot of bands will play Cleveland, maybe hit Cincinnati, and just totally skip Columbus. But I don't know why. I wish someone would play Columbus. No, people still do. But
how big is Columbus then, in comparison?
Big.
Yeah. Is there any famous bands from Columbus?
Famous bands. Ugh. What's the most famous band?
It's interesting. So I wondered.
I was just
you have to look it up.
I don't know. I have to think about it.
There must be bands.
What would be a famous band? Oh, you know what's a famous band from Ohio? What's the one? Oh, it's the duo that's out. Oh, I don't listen to them. That's not.
Current, you mean current
I'd have to look.
Okay, I'm interested to know now. Yeah.
No.
Obviously, Cleveland. Ian Hunter, Cleveland Rocks. What a great song.
Famous bands from Columbus, Ohio. 21 Pilots is probably the biggest.
Yeah. Oh, bloody hell. They're massive. My daughter loves them.
Okay. Rascal Flatts is one. See, these are bands I don't give a crap.
Yeah.
The ones that I liked in the 90s was a band called Hal and Maggie. Fantastic. They were an offshoot the guy was in the band called Royal Crescent Mob, and they broke up, and then he started Hal and Maggie. Fantastic stuff. But 21 Pilots, I think, is the biggest band that ever came out of here.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
So your daughter knows 21 Pilots?
She doesn't know. She'd probably like to know them, but she's a fan. Yeah. Or she was.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. All right. Cool. There you go. All right. So the album comes out on the 10th. Single's out now. Everybody, you've heard it. Go get it. So give Mark some support. After this record, you do the tour. So that's what's next is the tour. The album comes out, the tour. Do you have any other future plans after that?
Well, I think, with any album, you've got to obviously work hard to get it out there. So we'd probably be concentrating this year on getting this, record out to as many people as possible. If we can pick up some new fans, it'd be great. Got a few festivals coming up. Hopefully a few more festival bits and bobs. We'll try and get out to Italy and Germany again if we can. Like I say, the States, if we could get to the States in the fall, that would be Brilliant. There's
Yeah,
a
they
live
need to
album.
next year on the Little Stevens Underground Garage Cruise. They need to get you on there for next year.
Yeah, well, if you know anyone, go on, have a word. And,
I don't. I'll work. I'll see what I can do when I go on there. Maybe
yeah,
I can help you
wear
out.
the t-shirt. I'll send you a t-shirt. Wear the Marc Valentine t-shirt.
I need a shirt. I need a
Yeah.
shirt.
And I'll send you the Y fronts as well. They're limited edition. So I'll get you a pair of them as well. And yeah, hopefully there's a live album which we're going to put out at some point, maybe later in the year. That's to be mixed. There's an EP we recorded in New York we haven't finished, which we did in Little Steven Studio. We've got to get that finished. Probably, another album sort of on the way as well at some point. Obviously not this year, but yeah, I don't want to stop yet. So
there's no reason to keep it coming. I think the new single is fantastic.
Thanks, man. Brilliant.
So I'm looking forward to the album. I'll get the album. I can hardly wait. So everybody, please. Oh, Mark, do you have a website that we can share? How can they find you? What's your website?
Yeah. marcvalentine.co.uk. marcvalentine.co.uk. And yeah, pretty much, obviously we were on Instagram and Facebook, and you can find us there.
All right. Give Mark some love, everyone. Please go check, and we can go find your stuff on Wicked Cool.
Yes, Wicked Cool.
Yeah, go to Wicked Cool.
Yeah.
Go to Mark's website. Awesome. Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, Mark, I think we've done it. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap this dog up?
No, I think we're all good, man. And thank you for having me. And thanks for anybody who's watching as well. And yeah, please check out the music and hope you like it. And hopefully, Grant, come back again sometime in the future.
I would love to. Hey, everybody, give Mark some love. Like I said, please subscribe if you haven't. Leave a comment. Check out the track down below. Download it. Album comes out on April 10th. Get your hands on it. Wicked Cool Records. Marc Valentine. Power Pop All Tour. It's hard to say that.
It is. It sounds bloody good, though.
It does sound bloody good.
I'll take it.
All right. Marc Valentine, thanks so much. Thank you.
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Take care.